Is there a pressure when you step into something that has been reimagined and putting your own stamp on a character that was beloved before?
Um, I never feel pressure. I'm a pretty laid back person. Only because I'm very picky with my roles, and I knew that this role, it was a different character. I knew that this was the same world, but just reimagined for today's witch and today's modern girl. So like I wasn't too pressed about that. Especially because I do appreciate that, you know, in this film the black girl's life and friendships and all of that is kind of like we kind of dive deeper into that. And I
Mhm.
remember watching the film for the audition, and I was like, oh man, I just wish I could have just went into her world just a little bit more. And like just being able to like tell that story was just like, yay, I get to do it. And I also appreciate the fact that it is for the like I said, the modern day witch. So it's not like the outcasts are always wearing black and are grunge and stuff like that. They look a little different now, act a
Mhm.
little different, got a whole different friend group that looks a little different. So I do appreciate like the updates that were very authentic in making this film, remaking the craft.
I couldn't agree with you more. I like those modern sensibilities that were put into it because, I mean, the world has changed tremendously from that time to now. And what I particularly liked about your character is introducing some of those modern touches without it being too preachy. You know,
Mhm.
I love the scene where you're all gathered in the bedroom, and I think they asked you like, what do you fear or something like that, and you're like, when my brother leaves the house, et cetera, et cetera. And I love that that was put in there without it turning into this rah rah beat you over the head with it. Was that uh was that in the script when you initially got it, or was that something that was added later to make it more personal to your portrayal of the character?
I think it was in the script. Originally, I think this script was written for a black girl to play, and I feel like no matter who they would have casted, they would have probably had a similar experience. So I do love that it was authentic enough for it to be kind of like whichever black actress could play it, she probably went through it, and that's how you know that like they did a good job at telling the story. Because that's all I want to do. I just want to story tell and not have it feel like it's being like played out, you know. So I just like I think everything just had like every action, every sentence that I said just had its own genesis, and it had its own like something was pushing. And I feel like everyone knows or can come to that understanding on their own without even like talking to the person next to them in the audience while like watching this, because it shines a light on like a lot of the stuff wrong with reality and a lot of the stuff that just is with reality without having to do too much or have to address it, like it being a trans girl and a black girl and a Jewish girl and a white girl all in a group. They kind of see how that comes together. And
Mhm.
like that whole moment with me talking about like my brother and stuff, I feel like those are real life situations that happen when you're talking with your friends, but you don't have to be so like like traumatized by it, because at the end of the day, traumas that black girls have in America are desensitized, and so we act different when we talk about certain things. And not to say that that's not messed up, because it is, but that's really how it looks in today's society, playing two truths and a lie.
Yeah, yeah. I- You're 100% correct with that. Yeah, yeah, I loved how you answered that. I liked what you said before too about how you're real, specific and intentional on how you choose your roles. I loved you in Sailing the Spades, and I like you in this, and you have other things on projects that I've seen you in this film. There's some Hollywood heavy hitters in the film with you, but they are not the forefront of the story. The forefront is very much you young ladies. With that sensibility that you're taking and picking new roles, what do you see for yourself, say in the next 5 years? What is appealing to you now as an actress, and what type of a road would you like to go with choosing roles?
I
Because you could be a great action hero. I could see you doing something like that, or you could do any number of things.
I definitely see myself doing everything. I know that right now I'm just an act, like I want to get into directing and writing and all that stuff because I do think I'm just a storyteller by nature. So that's why acting is kind of fun in the sense that I'm just watching these stories pass me, and whichever ones I really feel like a calling to, I'll try and snag it. And so like I'm just trying to help other people tell their stories in which I feel I can tell it authentically just by that. Because I mean, yeah, like in an action movie, if I play like this huge drug dealer or like sorry. But if I'm like in this huge action movie and I'm like playing this huge like drug dealer and stuff like that, that might be like crazy. But like if the script is right enough, and if it makes sense for someone who looked like me to grow up and have each of these experiences happening to them, I'm all for it, because I'm all for the human psyche, and I know that anything and everything is possible. So it's just like a matter of me like saying like, oh yeah, I can tell that, or that looks, or that line right there just screams authentic. I'm just looking for
Mhm.
the story to tell, because then it'll be easier for me to go to work and be like, okay, before this scene, what's the why? Why? Because that's also why I started acting, the whys
Nice.
in life.
I love that. It's such a pleasure. You're so talented and beautiful. Thank you for your time. I enjoy you greatly, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next thing that you do.
Thank you so much. It was a
Take
pleasure.
care. Bye bye.